Sometimes in relationships and just different encounters with people in the community, whether in the workplace, whether at the store, whether on the road. Um, Sometimes when we're talking with people or in different situations in relationships and communicating with people, sometimes we get frustrated. Sometimes emotions can kind of get flustered and riled up, and sometimes people can get heated. Maybe we get heated. And maybe you've been in a situation where you start talking to somebody and it starts to turn into, an argument, and then, people are just getting more frustrated and the volume of their speech begins to get louder, and maybe even the things they are saying become more stern and maybe even begin to be uncalled for or ugly, and it just keeps back and forth, amping up, bigger and bigger, worse and worse. And that happens, unfortunately, and maybe we've all been guilty of that at times. The book of Proverbs, really. I have not yet made a list. I'm sure it's out there, but I've not made a list of all of the Proverbs of how many times it talks about our temper, our attitude, our speech, how we go about things. But one that I wanted to focus on, at least for today, is found in Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1. Maybe you are already familiar with this one, maybe not. But I want to share it with you today. It's short and sweet, but oh so profound and challenging, but also very true and helpful. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1, when it says that a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Listen to that again. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Whew, that's a tough one. Because what he's saying is, when we get into situations where maybe some feelings are hurt, or maybe, someone's offended, or maybe someone's just frustrated or confused, or whatever the case may be, and, we can tell, maybe emotions are kind of getting high, and maybe, depending on what we say and how we say it, maybe we're having a disagreement, and when things start to get sort of stirred up a little bit, well, we could do one of two things. We can either make the situation worse by how we respond to it, by how we talk in return. We can use harsh words, which will continue to stir up anger in the one we're dealing with, and even stir up anger within ourselves. So there are ways that we can keep giving into those emotions and saying and doing things that are just going to stir up the situation and make it worse. Or we can have the mind and the self-control to keep our emotions in check, to answer with a soft answer, to answer calmly, to answer in a way that is not harsh or ugly, uncalled for, or sinful, but rather we are in control of ourselves, our words, our actions, so that hopefully, as this proverb says, that we will be able to diffuse the situation, we'll be able to make things calm down, that especially, well, maybe first for ourselves. If I am able to keep control of my emotions and answer in a way that is calm, cool, and collected, with a soft answer, that's gonna turn away the wrath in myself. I'm not going to allow the wrath, the anger, the frustration to take over and just, get into a rage. So it's going to help me control my emotions, but then it's also going to help the one I'm dealing with. That maybe they're kind of getting riled up, but then when they see that we're not getting riled up, we're not getting, challenging them and, getting louder than them, or, talking more harshly than them, which is, would increase it. When they see us calmly respond, give a soft answer, calm, cool, and collected, well, it's not gonna feed their fire. It's not going to cause them to get worse. Now, sure, there may be the exception where there's some people where, they're going to get fired up and angry and ugly no matter how you respond. But generally speaking, this is true. That if we can keep ourselves calm, cool, and collected, in control of our emotions, our words, and our actions, it is going to help these kinds of situations so much better. And that's probably something we all struggle with, maybe in our families, in our homes, maybe in other relationships with friends or coworkers, maybe even on the road, when we're dealing with people that may not be, acting right or paying attention. There's so many different things. The point is, we can either choose to say and do things and have an attitude that is going to make things worse in ourselves, or also make things worse in the whole situation together. So this proverb, a soft answer turns away wrath, that is what we need to be striving for, is to be able to respond to people and situations in a calm answer, patient, loving, gentle, humble, caring. That's something I've got to work on. That's something I think all of us as human beings got to work on. But something that is so, so very important. And it's going to help us be who God wants us to be, act in a way that God wants us to act, but it's also going to help our relationships and our situations on a daily basis. So let's give this serious thought and let's practice it, let's work on it, and let's get better at it. God bless.